After a 3-hour meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, United States President Donald Trump announced plans regarding Iran. Trump stated that he prefers to continue fruitless negotiations with Iran about the nuclear deal, rather than start striking the Ayatollah regime. According to Donald Trump, he believes that he will be able to achieve a deal that will satisfy everyone in the Middle East. But at the same time, it is reported that the Pentagon has ordered another aircraft carrier strike group to prepare for deployment to the Middle East amid preparations for possible military action against Iran. What casts doubt on Donald Trump's public statement? But the Prime Minister of Israel had questions for Trump not only about the nuclear deal with Iran, but also about Tehran's ballistic missile program and countering Iranian proxy forces in the region. And here Trump has nothing to say so far, since Hamas militants in the Gaza Strip have stated that they are not going to move to the second stage of the peace agreement, because no one has offered them any options for disarmament, even though that was the main condition of the deal. And now Hamas is saying that they are not going to give up their weapons. So let's briefly summarize the meeting between Netanyahu and Trump in this episode. My name is Alex Hipici, let's discuss this topic together. But before we start, I ask you to subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave any comment under this video, and subscribe to my Telegram channel, Peachy News. The link to it is in the description of this video. There we post breaking news as it comes in, and of course announcements of episodes here on YouTube. So, the day before, on Wednesday, after a 3-hour meeting with the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, United States President Donald Trump emphasized that he wants to continue seeking an agreement with Iran rather than resorting to military action. At the moment, although Trump called his meeting with Netanyahu very good, the Israeli Prime Minister is extremely skeptical about the prospects of diplomacy with Iran and tends to support military action. Trump assures that he still believes in negotiations with the Iranians for now, and that no major agreements have been reached with Netanyahu. But I would like to remind you that Trump and Netanyahu also made divergent public statements before Israel attacked Iran in June of last year, before closely coordinating their actions. At the beginning of that operation, which was later called the 12-Day War, they also said different things. One said one thing, the other said another, but in the end, they struck together. And let me remind you that last Friday, the United States and Iran resumed negotiations in Oman for the first time since June. But Trump simultaneously began a large-scale military buildup. Trump stated on Tuesday that he expects a second round of negotiations next week. But he may also send a second aircraft carrier strike group to the Persian Gulf to launch strikes against Iran if the negotiations fail. And now 3 American officials have told the Wall Street Journal that the Pentagon has already ordered another aircraft carrier strike group to prepare for deployment to the Middle East amid preparations for possible military action. And now American officials told the Street newspaper that the Pentagon has already ordered a strike group to deploy to the Middle East. Iran, what would be the preferred option? If not, we'll just have to wait and see what the outcome will be. Before the 12-day war last June, Iran decided not to make a deal with the United States that didn't help them. I hope this time they will be more reasonable and responsible. At the same time, a statement from Netanyahu's office said that he emphasized the state of Israel's security needs. In the context of negotiations with Iran, both sides agreed to continue close coordination and communication between them. That is, as you understand, there are very few specifics. In addition, both sides stated that the issue of the Gaza Strip was also discussed. Trump wrote that they discussed the tremendous progress achieved in Gaza and in the region as a whole. And here, Trump is clearly being dishonest. The fact is, the second stage of Donald Trump's peace plan was supposed to have started in the Gaza Strip long ago, but there is no progress there. And as early as next week, the United States will host the first meeting of the Peace Council overseeing the situation in the Gaza Strip. And they will use this opportunity to try to raise money for the reconstruction of the enclave. But the problem is that Hamas militants still dominate Western politics. Israel retains control over the eastern half, and Israel Defense Forces strikes against militants across the territory continue almost daily. And so, speaking at the signing ceremony with the Peace Council on January 22, Donald Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner acknowledged that the reconstruction of Gaza cannot take place unless Hamas disarms. And this is where the main problem begins. As reported by Al Jazeera, senior Hamas official Osama Hamdan stated that the group had not received any proposals for disarmament and made it clear that Hamas refuses to lay down its arms. He stated that Hamas, which signed the peace deal, is now proposing some sort of freeze on its weapons, saying that there will be no disarmament, but the amount of weapons in the hands of the terrorists can be limited. And now there is information that council members are planning to allow Hamas to keep some small arms, while demanding that they hand over most of their long-range weapons. Not all, but most. Although this contradicts the peace plan, which clearly called for the complete and unconditional disarmament of Hamas militants. Now, however, Hamas representative Kamdan has stated that the international stabilization forces, which are supposed to provide security in the Gaza Strip according to the peace plan, should be stationed only on the border between Israel and the Gaza Strip, and not throughout the entire enclave as was previously agreed. And the thing is, in Donald Trump's peace plan, it is clearly stated in black and white that these international armed forces, quote, are meant to train and support vetted Palestinian police forces in Gaza, provide a long-term solution to the problem of internal security, not just at the border, and help ensure the security of border areas together with the newly trained Palestinian police forces. Hamas rejects this, saying, no, not just at the border, but within the territory of the Gaza Strip. We don't need any stabilization forces. No, we will not disarm. We are not going to let international forces in. We don't need to be trained. We will keep power in our own hands. And after that, let's negotiate. That's why it now looks like the second stage of Trump's peace plan for Gaza is on the verge of collapse if Trump actually makes even greater concessions to Hamas militants. But in the meantime, Trump says he is ready to continue negotiations with Iran. I'll leave it at that. Share your opinions and conclusions in the comments below this episode, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and don't forget to like. If you found this episode useful and interesting, you can support our YouTube channel with your donation or subscription using the links and details in the description of this video. I would appreciate any support from you. That's all for now. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye, everyone.